I've got a great Madden 23 tutorial for you guys today on skill-based passing presented by the EA Creator Network. A big thank you to the EA Creator Network for giving me early access so I can help teach you guys a little bit about skill-based passing to dominate your opponents. As always, keep in mind this is work in progress gameplay because I got early access to the game, so you might see some bugs or glitches here and there, but just remember, it's a work in progress. If you don't know what skill-based passing is, we're not talking about the vision cone for pass, we're talking about a really easy system. And what I love about this system is that it rewards you if you really master it, but if you're sort of new to it, it's pretty easy to work through too. To help you guys understand it, I'm going to show you guys in slow motion sort of how it works, and then we'll look at it in real time. Now, to show you guys how this system works, I'm going to show you basically how you can lead left, right, up, or down for your receiver. On this particular play, we've got Sample going pretty much straight down the field, so we can hold his receiver button and then move the left stick left or right. I push it over the right after going left, and it throws it over the right hand side. We also have Hurst crossing on this play, so let's say for example I wanted to throw it a little bit more underneath to him. We just hold the button, we push it down, you can see it at the bottom of that reticle, and he's able to move forward. And then if you look at a deep route here, for example, we've got Higgins going deep. We sort of throw this one at the very top of that circle, and that's what it looks like. But I think there's a better way to do this. Now, to access the skill-based passing menu, you simply hit the start button, you go to options, settings, you then go to game options, you'll see skill-based passing right here. More than likely it'll be placed on placement when you originally started. You can also go to classic if you are just someone who doesn't want any change and don't want to do this, but I honestly recommend using it. Placement is sort of the skill-based passing light version in my opinion. It's solid, it's a way to sort of figure things out, but I really recommend you work your way to placement and accuracy. Passing slowdown is what you really saw where it took really a long time to get that throw off. It was really just to show you guys sort of how the system moves, but I really recommend playing with it off because in online play, you can't use it at all. One of the big things to pay attention to is the freeform reticle max distance. So your three options here. You have near, you have far, and you have no max distance. What this is essentially allowing you to do is see how far the reticle is from that little circle that's on your screen when you're throwing it to a receiver. If it's near, you have a little bit of a range. You can go past that sort of circle. If you go to far, you have a very good distance. You can sort of go probably 5 to 10 feet. If you go to no max distance, you can literally throw it as far as your mind can imagine. Now, if you're wondering why would someone go to no max distance, well, there's a couple of reasons, but I think one of the real ones is to really figure out throws that maybe weren't even possible before, switching to different receivers, or if you want to be able to throw the ball away significantly easier while still targeting a receiver kind of, it's an easy way to do that. For most people, I recommend using near, but honestly, just play around with it. Near or far is just going to be a personal preference for a lot of people. One of the most underrated features though is the freeform reticle speed, and there is nuance to this, believe me. It defaults to I believe about 7 out of 20, but think of this as sort of your sensitivity if you were playing a shooter and you're looking at, how your reticle sort of moving around. It's a very similar thing. Now obviously this is going to be just like any shooter you might play, really down to personal preference, but keep in mind this also is going to have an impact based on the QB release you're using. If you're using a quarterback that has a really fast release, then you might want to, play around this a little bit more to have a higher sensitivity or a higher speed. If you're using a quarterback with maybe a slower release, you can probably move this down a little bit. It really will be a quarterback by quarterback situation. So whether you're playing franchise mode or MUT or any other mode, based on the quarterback you have, mess around and see what really works best for you in that quarterback. The last two settings, reticle visibility and meter visibility, are pretty much exactly what they say. It will either show or hide that. I recommend keeping it on unless you're a demon and for some reason you don't want it on. So to give you an example of what far looks like versus near, let's use a little route here with our tight end. We have Sample running up the middle a little bit slower, and let's see what it looks like. So far, if we throw that one up above, he barely got to that one, but it was still good placement. We use the high point pass as well. Now, what if we have a linebacker sort of trailing him? We can throw it inside, and as you can see, the big fella's not getting to it. This is super useful if you have a linebacker that's sort of shading them in one way and you want to sort of get it over. I was a little bit more, better with how I threw that one, and it was on target. It also is going to help supremely if you actually time the pass to get in the blue zone. That one was in the blue zone, but again, still, I threw it a little too far. Now, keep in mind, that was also me pushing it to the extreme. If you push it to the extreme for near, it's a little bit easier for that tight end to get to, or that receiver. Your biggest goal really though is to try to get it in that blue meter. I threw it in the green there, so it's a little bit of a sloppier pass. So you see him drop it. There are tons of variables though. Your quarterback's accuracy, what X factors they have. You can see, for example, Joe Burrow has perfect accuracy on throws outside the numbers. He's immune to defensive pressure while in the pocket, increased throw power when leading bullet passes with set feet. Those things will obviously help out an absolute ton. And you can see here again, another good throw. We're in the blue and it's good timing. Now, if we happen to put it to max distance, again, running the same thing, just to show you, this one can go significantly further than what we probably wanted. That was also, to be fair, not great accuracy, so we'll try again with even worse accuracy. And again, you can see it's nowhere close to our receiver. See if we can actually get one on the money here. This one's a little bit better, and he's almost there, but still, you have to be careful. You can't just max it out. You need to be very tight with how you throw that ball and where you move that cursor. In order to activate the freeform passing, which allows you to just have it going from just snapping around the little circle to being able to throw outside of the circle, you want to hold down L2 if you're on PlayStation, or LT if you're on Xbox. And that gives you the ability to throw it outside of that circle. Now, because Joe Burrow was on his X Factor, we're going to bring another quarterback to show you something really quick. If you're scrambling out and trying to throw a cross body like you maybe would have before, you're going to have about 80% or less of your throw power. Now, keep in mind, there's obviously different abilities that can really impact that, but those days of just going a zillion miles back and chucking one up deep, they're gone. Even throwing on the run will be a little bit more difficult than it was in previous years. You can still absolutely dot it up, but again, no, you're going to need to be accurate here. The pressure your quarterback faces, if they're in your face, will also impact it. Keep in mind, there are different abilities that will then negate that, like Joe Burrow's ability to throw great accuracy even with pressure in his face. All these things matter, as well as the defense that you're going up against, the level of difficulty you're playing on as well. All those things will impact how your throws essentially are. But as you can see here with Joe Burrow with his X Factor, it makes things significantly easier to try to weave one in there, as we nearly got that one over the top of the defense. We got Jamar Chase, for example, we're trying to weave one in there. We got that one in there. Again, great accuracy going through there, and it was a perfectly led ball. Those are my tips for Madden 23 skill-based passing. Look, I know it might be a little daunting at first, but if you use it, I promise you it can help out your game a ton. You can throw back shoulder phase, you can throw high, you can still throw low despite the low mechanic being removed now with LT or L2 being used as the primary option. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite settings are for the skill-based passing, and as always, be safe, be smart, tell somebody you love them. Catch you guys on the next one.